Global National's Tara Nelson is at the hole that remains at Ground Zero tonight. Tara?
Well, Kevin, this site is still such an open wound for New Yorkers who have to pass by it every day. But in a way, it's even harder for the people who only come to New York once a year, like the families of the 24 Canadian victims who've come to remember their loved ones and share their grief. A bright September morning, the kind of day where the sun glints off the high rises. It was this kind of day 5 years ago, too, when everything changed. And today, the families of the nearly 2,800 victims relive it again.
Donald Leroy Adams.
Patrick Adams.
Clutching flowers and each other, loved ones pour into the World Trade Center site, comforted by the closeness of strangers, the only other people who truly understand the loss.
5 years have come and gone, and we still stand together as one. We come back to this place to remember the heartbreaking anniversary and each person who died here.
With pain written on their faces, they stand in the footprints of the fallen Twin Towers and observe 4 moments of silence, 2 for when the plane struck and 2 for when the buildings fell. And in that sea of heavy hearts, Canadian Erica Baznicki. Her father Ken died in Tower 1.
It's never easy to come back.
This year, spouses are reading the names of the victims, and Erica's mother needs support.
And my husband, Kenneth William Baznicki. All your family and friends in Canada miss you terribly.
26-year-old Erica has been trying hard to put the horror behind her. She even skipped this ceremony last year.
Last year was the first year I tried to forget what happened that day.
But few can, because even for those watching this ceremony from the outside, life has forever changed.
It was the beginning of a different era that we're living in.
I'm always watching. I'm always looking around. I'm always always trying to keep one step ahead of everybody.
But I think that there's a degree of fear.
After the attack, America declared war on terror. And while Canada stayed out of Iraq, Canadian troops faced their biggest mission since the Korean War in Afghanistan. Western countries were all at risk. And travel suddenly changed.
Even lotion, hairspray.
And the security noose tightened around everyone's neck.
In 50 years, people will look back on this as a pivotal moment.
Erica always will, even though she now purposefully lives a world away from New York in the quiet mountain resort of Whistler.
There are so many things, that are fun to do, and I do them, and it's great. Otherwise, I would be another victim on that list.
A list that's already far too long.
Well, Tara, when I was standing where you are now a year after the attacks, I remember reporting the families would never be able to stand in that place again. How much longer will it remain a hole in the earth?
Well, there really seems to be a sense this year that this could be finally one of the last years that they'll be able to hold a ceremony here, because work on the Freedom Tower has finally begun, though most of it is underground. But in the coming years, they will be building 3 more office towers, plus a memorial and a museum. So I suspect in the next few years, this remembrance will take place either around the site or completely off-site. But once those buildings are completed, it will move back here again. Kevin?
All right, Tara, thanks very much. Tara Nelson at Ground Zero tonight.